Good morning, everybody. Try that again. Good morning, everybody. Excited that you all could join us today. We're gonna start our program with a performance by the Boston City Singers Tour Choir. So I'd like to give the kids a nice round of applause to start our morning off.
But in the meantime, this is one of the groups that I conduct. It's the tour choir, and they're going to sing two songs for you this morning. The first one is from Japan, a nod to our fabulous accompanist, Yuki. It translated means pick a flower, a red flower, and put it in her hair, and pick a white flower. And then something more familiar, blue skies. I should also point out that a number of young people who sing in this choir could not be here today because they have MCAS testing. So we wish them well as we sing Blue Skies.
I'm back. Did you miss me? Another round of applause for the Boston City Singers Tour Choir. I'm sure you'll hear a little bit more about the Boston City Singers as we move forward in the program. I'd like to welcome you all here this morning. My name is Phil Carver. I am the Director of Community Relations for the university. I am also a proud alum of the university, a double beacon. Thank you. Thank you. My mother will thank you for that. I am also a former recipient of the Quinn Award, and I thank you for that as well. This is a very special day for me for a lot of reasons. One, because I'm a huge UMass Boston fan, obviously. I work here, but I'm also a huge fan of the Quinn family. Bob Quinn was a dear friend of my family, so this is a great tribute to Bob Quinn and his family, and it's a great event for the community. The Quinn Award and the Community Breakfast celebrates individuals who consistently go above and beyond on behalf of our community. It celebrates the City of Boston's urban mission, which is coincidentally the same urban mission that this university was founded on. So as you wander around campus, you notice our construction that we have going on, which is great. It's moving us forward to where we can better serve our students, your kids, your brothers and your sisters. So it is a little challenging, I realize, to get here, but we're thankful that you made it here. The other thing that you notice when you're on campus, and I say this most times when I speak about the university, I talk about how our mascot, our logo, is a beacon, and why is that important? And it's a powerful message to me. My friends that go to Lowell, I give them grief about the Riverhawks, and what is a Riverhawk? Is that a seagull? So when they say, well, what is a beacon? And I say, well, a beacon is by definition a source of light or inspiration, someone or something that guides or gives hopes to others. And UMass Boston is the beacon for public higher education in the city of Boston. It was my beacon. Pat, it was yours, right? Growing up in Dorchester, right? This was a place that we knew we would be welcome, where we could excel. And it's not an accident that UMass Boston honors the city leaders who embrace collaboration and civic engagement. This university exists to challenge and to inspire. It teaches students, both young and old alike, how to act collectively. You look over, we have our friends from the Ollie program here, Pat O'Neill, Gene Hunt, lifelong learners. This university teaches us to identify and rethink boundaries, build purposeful relationships, and hopefully, when the students leave us, they have gained the knowledge and skills to assume the responsibilities of leadership and civic participation in the communities. So, look around. This is a great community event. We have plenty of former Quinn Award recipients like the Ferrara brothers, who I just heard are stepping back after 20-something years of starting the South Boston Pop Warner program, which I enjoyed being a part of. Great community guys. So this is a great moment for UMass Boston to just take a step back, embrace our community, and thank you all for coming here. I appreciate it. You're going to enjoy the speaker program today. We have two phenomenal award winners this year. With that in mind, I'd like to introduce the Vice Chancellor of University Relations, Ed Lambert.
Phil, thank you very much. Construction, I see nothing but blue skies. It's going to be hard to get that song out of my mind for the rest of the day. Phil, thank you very much, and I want to welcome all of you here today and ask you to begin by helping me welcome Phil Carver and his team and our event staff and all of the volunteers and the servers and everyone else who's helped put this day together. I also want to welcome those who are here, either holding elected office or representing those in elected office. I know City Councilor Frank Baker is here, and I apologize if I've missed anybody, but please give our elected officials who support this campus a great round of applause. This truly is one of the events that on this campus we look forward to with great anticipation as the calendar progresses. It is a time very much like a holiday event where you open up the doors and family from all over come back to visit. And as a proud public institution here in the city of Boston, this university belongs to you. This campus belongs to you. So welcome here today as founding members of the UMass Boston family. Today, by having all of you here with us and by recognizing two great civic leaders, we celebrate our longstanding mission of service. We know that Bob Quinn had a great vision for this place. First and foremost, that kids from Boston, as he said, would trip over opportunity and find ways to do that. The concern that there are too many young people from the neighborhoods of Boston who weren't being given access to excellent and high-quality education. But Mr. Quinn also wanted very much for this to be a place committed to the mission of service, and we have worked over the course of 50-plus years to try to do that and ensure that we instill that sense of mission in our students as well. We think it's been a hallmark of the history of this place, and we work very hard to try to assess the value of that impact in our community, in Massachusetts, and indeed around the world. A recent report that we commissioned by the Donahue Institute shows that in the last fiscal year for which there was data, UMass Boston impacted the local economy by over $1 billion, and that's inclusive of our hiring, of our research, of the construction projects that are here behind us, where through project labor agreements, we've endeavored to ensure that local folks are hired to reap the benefit of not only their great skills on this campus, but to put those incomes back into the neighborhoods that we are dedicated to serving. Almost 90% of our graduates stay in Greater Boston and Massachusetts to move forward with their careers. Our nationally ranked nursing program provides an incredibly diverse and excellent talent pipeline for the very important healthcare sector in Boston. Our Venture Development Center has launched dozens of businesses and created hundreds of jobs and launched the careers of so many young entrepreneurs. Our research partnership with Dana-Farber has produced cutting-edge technology and policies relative to individualized cancer therapy. Our institutes and centers, like the Center for Social Policy and others, are involved in developing very important state policies that affect working families across the Commonwealth. And we have in Boston alone over 900 partnerships where our faculty and our students are involved in service and research that are hopefully moving the dial in terms of improving the quality of life for people in our area. And so I apologize for the commercial, but we are very, very proud of the work that goes on here. And we think it's important to note that this university's accomplishments and its commitment to service is only possible because of you, because of the communities that we partner with, because of the community that we serve. It is implemented every day by an incredible faculty that is truly second to none, and by students whose stories and personal commitment to service and just their commitment to their own success and their community's success inspires us all. And so while these impacts have reached every corner of the globe, it's also important for us to not forget our roots, to not forget that we are part of a very important and vibrant community, and that's what makes this a very, very special event. In a couple of minutes, you're going to hear a little bit more about our honorees. It is certainly an honor for us to recognize these two individuals. Jane Money, who has given voice, literally and figuratively, to so many young people and moved them towards success in career and college, and Linda Dorcena Forry, whose own voice has, through so many roles, been such an important voice for those whose voices need to be heard. And so we are very grateful for their presence here today. We thank them for their service, and I would like to ask them and everyone else in the room, beginning with our first Quinn honoree, Ed Forry, if they would please stand and be recognized. All honorees of the Quinn Award and the Chancellor's Award over the years. We have many in the room. Thank you so much. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce Barry Mills. Barry has had a very successful career. as a scientist, as a lawyer, as a college president of a little place up in Maine that you may have heard about. He came to us at a crucial time for this university, and he's accomplished a great deal since his arrival. But one of the best and most important contributions he has made to this campus is offering the perspective of someone coming from somewhere else to remind us all of the excellence of this place and to affirm the work and to ensure that we have both the courage, the fortitude, and quite honestly, the right administrative structure and culture shift necessary to ensure that our vision isn't just a dream, but a reality. And so we're very grateful for the gift of his presence with us. It's a privilege for me to welcome to the podium our Chancellor, Barry Mills.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's great to see you all here. Thank you for being here. And I want to echo what Ed said. I want to thank all of the folks who helped organize this, particularly the people from the wait staff who get up so early in the morning to get all this food ready for us. It's easy for us to just show up, but these folks have to do it early in the morning, so thank you very much. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 32nd Annual UMass Boston Community Breakfast. And I'd like to take a moment to welcome our honorees, like Jane Money and the Honorable Linda Dorcena Forry, their family, friends, colleagues, and everyone who's here today to celebrate with them. Also, a special welcome to this table here, the Quinn family, and over here, Bob's wife, Claudina, and their daughters, Elena and Stephanie, and their granddaughter, India, and Quentin are here today. We're really excited that you're here. It's great that we continue this connection, this important connection to this great university. So just a brief moment to the Boston City Singers, you guys over here. You're pretty terrific. Thank you for being here. So I'm the Chancellor of UMass Boston. You don't know me, and I have this job here. And so you guys all look like you're maybe in junior high school or elementary school, some of you, and maybe getting ready to go to high school, right? So here's my offer to you. I know this great university, and it's located in Boston, actually in Dorchester, and it's a great school. So we need people who know how to sing. And we need smart students. And I understand that you know how to sing. I heard it. And I understand that you're very smart. So here's the deal. In X number of years, when you apply to college, you can tell them that the guy who ran UMass Boston told you that you were admitted. Okay? Okay, there's Lisa over there. See that woman? You stand up. Okay. See these? They're all in. Okay. And if you want to live in the residence halls, you can do that too. And we'll make it work for you financially. So I look forward to seeing you here in a number of years, okay? So let me just take a quick moment and convince you why you should come here. Why is it that this is the place that you ought to go to college? So as Ed said, I spent a lot of my life in the private sector, but I've spent over almost a long time, almost 20 years now, in the education world. I've worked at small colleges. I've worked now at a public university. I've had exposure to many, many colleges and universities across America. And one of the things I think that's important to understand is what defines an excellent university. And we talk a lot about UMass Boston and all the great work that we do, but what we don't talk about enough and don't recognize enough is what an excellent place this is for students and for faculty and for staff, but particularly for students. Because the definition of a great university is a great university that's committed to you and to your education and to your success. And the faculty here are world class. The staff here are committed to the work that we do in very, very important ways. And they're committed to your success. So here, very, very close to where you live, and it's okay to go to school close to where you live, very close to where you live, is an excellent university. It has all the opportunity for you that you can get in any great university across America. So this is the college and university for you. And we're very, very proud and should be very proud of what UMass Boston is. And when one thinks about Mr. Quinn, who I didn't have the pleasure of knowing, and all of the chancellors who have led this institution, all the people who have worked here, people like Keith Motley, who we stand on the shoulders of all of those folks. All of those folks have made this place what it is today. People from the community, leaders of the university, people from the legislature. This is an excellent place, and everyone deserves credit for what we have created. And so when one looks at this university, I gave a talk to some incoming students just a few weeks ago. We had hundreds and hundreds of students coming to look at UMass Boston. And the one thing, I went around and I talked to all the parents, I said, so what are you worried about? Why wouldn't you send your son or daughter here? I said, well, all that construction. Do I really want to send my son or daughter to a construction site? So I know that it was hard for you to get here today for some of you, but I'm here to tell you that the road project will be done in July. The dorm will be open September 1st. And the parking garage will be open this summer. So for a moment, given the history of UMass Boston, this place will be construction-free. The views to Dorchester Bay will be open. People will be able to come and enjoy this campus in ways that don't make it such a hassle to get here. And that's important. It's important because it's important to have a sense of place that one feels inviting and comfortable, together with the challenge of being educated in a really rigorous way here. And so I got a standing ovation, one of the few standing ovations I've got since I've come here, when I explained to folks, to these parents, that their children will come here at a time and that will be relatively peaceful. The great news also is, and the important news is, and there's been a lot written about this, mostly very nicely, thank you, is that we've had challenges, obviously, in ensuring that our university is financially stable. Those challenges are actually quite common in public and private education. So UMass Boston has sort of beaten itself up over the last number of years in ways that other universities actually haven't. But all universities are struggling, even the wealthiest. I'd like to be among the wealthiest, but we're not. But it doesn't matter. All colleges and universities struggle. The good news is, and I can say with confidence, that through a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice, let's be clear, through a lot of hard work and sacrifice, this university is on the road to being financially stable. And that we're going to meet all of our goals, frankly, and more this year that have been set for us by the system and by the state. And that people will be looking at UMass Boston as a financially disciplined, stable place to work, to go to school, to be connected to in important ways. And then the construction will be finally done, and we have that big looming project, our legacy project, our garage project. Well, through the ingenuity of some and some really hard work, we have figured out a way to take that project from what was a $235 million project down to a project that's going to cost about $155 million, which was the original price. And it works functionally much better, from my perception, than some of the things that we were thinking about in the past. It's much easier to do and to implement, and it goes from being a project that has been viewed existentially for this university to being merely a construction project. Now, I'm not diminishing how hard it will be, but it can get done, and it can get done reasonably. Hopefully, the state will see ways to help fund us even more than they have on this. But it is quite doable and speaks to the confidence that we should all have in this university going forward. So let me just speak briefly about 3 points. First, as we have worked to achieve our financial stability, some have made the claim that we're moving away from our urban mission, that we don't know who we are, that we're becoming too corporate. Well, I have to say, balancing your budget is not corporate. Balancing your budget is what each and every one of you do in your homes and lives and businesses every day. And universities are no different. You have to live within your means. And so we are figuring out a way to do that. But there are 3 important points to understand. This is a special university because of its mission. And first and foremost in that mission is our urban mission. We would not be UMass Boston if we weren't in Boston. And the surrounding community of Dorchester and all of the wonderful people who are here today, your community wouldn't be what it is without us. We have a relationship together that's important, and we understand that. And when one looks at what this university does, day in and day out, in the newspapers the other day, the important work that our people are doing, understanding climate change and the effects on the Boston harbors and what it could do to the city of Boston. Impressive work. The really important work that we do at the Boston Public Schools to create access and opportunity and success for students who go to the Boston Public Schools. To the community work, to this OLLI program that we have. Mr. Ocher and I are great friends. Barney and I are really close friends. He's enormously proud of UMass Boston and what it's achieved here. And when I ride the bus coming and I meet these people who are about my age, I say, where are you going? They said, we're going to school. I said, really? I said, where are you going? I'm going to the OLLI program. What is it about? It's about getting people educated and out of isolation and connected. And that's important work. And day in and day out, through the nursing program, through our public policy school, through our science work, and through our liberal arts programs, we have people who are connected into this community doing important work. That's why they're here. It's connected in important ways to the next part of our mission, which is social justice. I haven't been affiliated with any institution that feels in its bones so deeply the commitment to social justice and the importance of fairness and opportunity for everyone. That's what this university represents. It represents it not only in the students who go to school here, but in our faculty, our staff, and in the way that we think about our commitment and responsibility to each other. So that social justice commitment rings true and is real. And then finally, let's remember and not lose focus on what our primary responsibility is. We have an urban mission. We're committed to social justice. But our primary responsibility is as an educational institution. We are a university. We are a research university. And so we have an obligation to do first-class research, but most importantly, to educate our students, create access for those students to come here, our undergraduates and our graduate students, to create opportunity for them to get an education here. But there's something more here that other universities worry about a little bit less, and I want to refocus this university on even more. We do a ton of work to ensure student success. But when hundreds and hundreds of students come to UMass Boston, and you come for visiting day, and you look in the eyes of all these students and families, and the optimism is palpable. But in my head, I say, but 55% of you won't graduate. 55% of you won't graduate in 6 years. That's unacceptable. Now, we're doing a ton of work to get better. And people talk about this. And the way they talk about it is they talk about the character of our students. Now, our students, I would describe them as fearless. Come to our campus and meet our students. The students who are working 2 jobs. The students who are trying to get on this campus and get off it to get to those jobs. Not so easy. Right? People who are scraping to make ends meet through the money that we give them and the money that they earn. These are fearless learners. These are not learners taking advantage of the opportunities that have sort of been handed to them by the world. These are students who have really, really made the commitment themselves to excel. So what's our responsibility? Now, many people explain away the graduation rate, that their lives are complicated. And if the littlest thing goes wrong, folks don't finish. Well, that's true. Their lives are complicated. Things do go wrong, and it is more complicated, and it is a good explanation. But it's not an explanation that lets us off the hook. The responsibility of this university is to ensure that we are organized and disciplined in a way that we are focused on student success and student graduation. Because if we're about social justice, if we're about opportunity, we're about ensuring that the students who come to school here, be they undergraduates or graduates, achieve the goals that they want to achieve. And the tragedy of someone leaving after 2 years with debt is unacceptable. So our challenge is to make sure that we have policies and programs and discipline in place that allows these students to succeed. And that's what I'm focused on. So everybody thinks I'm here focused on the money. Well, I sort of am. But what I'm really focused on and what the really important mission, and I think it's the important mission for this school to think about long after I'm gone, is how do we ensure that students not only have the access and opportunity to come here, but they're going to succeed. So we need to keep it affordable, and there's a challenge. When you think about excellence, in today's world, excellence is connected to expense. And there's a conflict there. Because if excellence is defined in terms of how much money you're spending and the kind of resources you're providing to students, that means the expense goes up and you put more and more pressure on the students to have to pay. We need to be creative, and we are creative. We need to be creative to understand how we provide that excellence and at the same time keep this education affordable. Why come to UMass Boston? It's an excellent school. It's affordable. You'll graduate with a whole lot less debt, if any. And when you go on in life, not having that burden, particularly in today's world, is fabulously important. So we are an excellent university. We understand our urban mission. I commit to you, and I know that the folks at the system office commit to you, that we will maintain and enhance that urban mission. I know from dealing day in and day out with the folks that I work with that the social justice mission is ingrained in this place. And we're working hard, and we'll continue to work hard on this new and reinforced idea. It's not new, but it certainly is refocused. This idea that it's all about student success. And so when we talk about our founding directives that Mr. Quinn talked about, standing with this city and being attentive to our friends and neighbors, as I've just described, this is what we're about. So in that spirit, the Robert H. Quinn Award was established in 1987 in honor of Bob Quinn, former Speaker of the Massachusetts House of Representatives, former Attorney General, and former chair, probably this was his hardest job, of the UMass Board of Trustees. At UMass Boston, he's known as the founder of this campus. That's a pretty cool thing to be able to say, I founded a campus. I think it's cool just to be able to work at one, but to be able to say you founded one is a really cool thing. Co-sponsoring the legislation in 1964, founding an urban campus of UMass, the University of Massachusetts, Boston. And so today, we are here to award the Robert H. Quinn Award for Outstanding Community Leadership. And so, Claudina, could you come on up, and we're going to give out this award. And if any of the other family members want to come on up to do this, come on up. Come on up. All right. Quentin, don't be shy. All right. Okay. All right. So our first honoree today for the Robert H. Quinn Award for Outstanding Community Leadership goes to Jane Money. In 1995, Jane founded the Boston City Singers for children in Boston as a Dorchester-based division of Youth Pro Musica to provide outstanding music training opportunities to low and moderate income inner-city youths in the communities in which they live. The organization has since grown to serve more than 500 singers, many of whom reside in the Metro Boston urban neighborhood. When Jane first thought about starting a music program, I'm told, for children in Dorchester, she thought it long and hard about what its purpose might be. She committed to a mission that would provide the highest level of musical training and wide-ranging performance opportunities, designed to transform the lives of inner-city youth, inspiring and developing in each heart to live with compassion in a world that we know is so full of differences. Jane's vision was to expand the concept of traditional youth choirs. She spent over 20 years making sure that positive youth development activities were interwoven into weekly rehearsals, with core concepts being dedication to competence, confidence, connection, character, caring, and contribution. Life skills that go well beyond music. You'll be hard-pressed to find a youth chorus program that is more engaging, inclusive, and diverse. She's had many accomplishments over the years. Most recently, she organized the 39-voice Tour Choir's 3-week residency in South Africa. There, the group performed at schools, community centers, museums, libraries, churches, and participated in several community service projects that supported the well-being of children. And she prepared training courses for Dorchester, Jamaica Plain, and Cambridge to perform at the John F. Kennedy Library for his 100th birthday celebration. The vast majority of Boston City Singers live in Dorchester and adjacent neighborhoods. 60% of the members are recipients of scholarships to support their tuition. No child is denied access due to limited household income. No child is denied access due to limited household income. Since its first graduating class, each and every graduate has been admitted to a 4-year college and university, and 95% have graduated on time. So guys, you've got a responsibility over here to keep that average up. Most have received substantial scholarships. Students have gone on to be successful professionals in the fields of teaching, business, social work, the military, performing arts, just to name a few. Jane is a staunch advocate and leader for social change. She's had a significant impact on thousands of young people that have benefited from their involvement with the Boston City Singers. The Robert H. Quinn Award Selection Committee noted her extraordinary dedication to providing access to quality music education and life skills for every child involved in the program, and her significant contribution to developing the children of Dorchester and surrounding communities into tomorrow's leaders. That's an incredible life of accomplishment, one that we look forward to celebrating for many years to come. We are honored to now call her one of our own. So Jane, please come up and accept this award and say a few words.
Good morning again. I'm going to recruit 2. We have a few auditions coming up, so if you have children, grandchildren, neighbors, join us, please. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our program because we're probably not as well known as we could be, so this is our fine opportunity. We started this program, it was around a tree. It was about a tree. In 1994, the Peabody Square folk, and they're probably here today, invited local children to sing for the annual lighting. And just a handful came, but with such strength and joy and commitment that we thought we would see what a semester would look like. And the semester turned into a year, and then another year, and so it went on, until all of a sudden we had really outgrown the capacity of our hosting organization, Youth Pro Musica. You heard them mentioned earlier, and we formed our own separate organization right here in Dorchester. So the first few years, we were most grateful for the hospitality of our Dorchester neighbors in libraries and schools and homes. They're all accessible and very welcoming to us. So we now have 3 programs. Dorchester continues, Jamaica Plain we added, and North Cambridge, where we have a very large group. And each are steps away from public transportation, and we hope they're as welcoming and as accessible as the place we started out in. And we have hundreds sing with us every week, and more, of course, will come. And we don't charge if you can't pay at all. I think you've seen this morning one piece from a world tradition that is new to us this semester that we specialize in preparing. I'm going to ask the person who choreographed that for you this morning, or for us, is right here, and she's one of our singers. Maggie, could you stand up, please? Thank you. We put extraordinary effort into preparing music as authentically as possible, and that has allowed us to make equally extraordinary connections with people all around the world. International tours have become a vital part of our programming. We've traveled to New Zealand, you can tell why, Australia, Costa Rica, Argentina. Next year, the young people who performed for you this morning before they come to UMass will spend 3 weeks in the Czech Republic and Croatia. The music and traditions of South Africa have become extremely important to us. We've been twice. We are proud of the young men and women who formed our first South Africa tour choir in 2011. 8 have since returned to the continent to undertake extended learning and service projects through college semesters abroad, internships, Fulbright, and Peace Corps programs. And in 2017, nothing could have prepared our singers for the sheer joy of singing alongside not only South African choirs, as you would expect, but cooks, servers, whole neighborhoods, and schools. I'm going to invite Drew up at this point. Now, Drew is a senior. He's been singing with me since he was 4. He's clearly no longer 4. He has not made a decision to come to UMass Boston because he needs mountains and snow in addition to his singing. But he wrote something in his college essay that I think you should hear.
Several times, performances turned into vibrant music exchanges in which our audience taught us a song and we would teach them something. Everyone seemed especially eager to hear or teach a South African song, with music of struggle and resistance being such a focal aspect of overcoming apartheid. After 14 years singing, 5 tours, and hundreds of concerts, I have never seen music mean so much to so many people.
We also work tirelessly to make sure that our singers have a wide range of opportunities. Just recently, 9 were selected to be part of the very first Boston Symphony Orchestra's children's choir, and will spend several weeks at Tanglewood this summer. And through our Opera Kids program, which Miss Wendy directs, 14 were part of a powerful performance of Dead Man Walking, produced by one of our wonderful college partners, Boston Conservatory at Berkeley. We've also put a lot of thought into the way we approach social justice. Our teen leaders, of which we have many here, choose our themes and work with me to develop programs and meaningful responses. We're particularly interested in giving voice to those silenced by war, terrorism, migration, race, bullying, and homelessness. This fall, we will be singing at the opening of Martin's Park at the Smith family waterfront and at the State House, remembering those lives lost on 9/11. And where do our seniors go? Yes, they go to college, and I hope that you are encouraged and welcome to come, to apply, to think. We hope that they find a community like ours in their college choirs, and that they know a lot about structuring their time with us, because they learnt that when they were with us, we hope. And as you heard, there are many that are educators and social workers and musicians, and what is even more exciting is that many of them are now working alongside me, with us, to raise the next generation. This stage is not large enough to fit all of the people who have made Boston City Singers happen. I'm honored to accept and receive the Robert H. Quinn Award on their behalf. I would like to thank Phil Carver, Chancellor Barry Mills. Thank you for your warm invitation. We're very excited. Vice Chancellor Ed Lambert, Claudina Quinn and her family, thank you. Our Managing Director, Melissa Graham, and Program Manager, Carmen Piedad, who is an alumni of our program. Our fabulous and hardworking artistic staff, who we have several of here today. Thank you for being here. And our board of directors, including Charlie and Kim and Jocelyn and Val. Thank you. And founding board member Sarah and her husband Ken, our neighbors and grandparents of our first, second generation singer. We're very excited by this. My husband Chris and our children, our youngest is here with us, and all of you, the members of Boston City Singers, and your wonderful, supportive families. Thank you.
Well, thank you for those great words and all of that unbelievably terrific work. And snow and mountains, I can help you. I know about snow and mountains. It's a little overrated, but I can say that now, but I can help if you want to talk. Okay. It's now my pleasure to introduce and to welcome an award, the Chancellor's Award for Longstanding Community Commitment and Service, to a person who I have gotten to know over the last year, the Honorable Linda Dorcena Forry, for her commitment in the State House and as a representative and a senator, and for her dedication to the communities she serves and to what she stands for. She is a lifelong Dorchester resident who worked her way up from a legislative assistant to seats in the House and the Senate, and is the only Haitian American elected official, or was the only elected Haitian American official, but there'll still be more in the Commonwealth. While in the Senate, she was appointed Assistant Majority Whip and was also named Vice Chair of the Committee on Housing and Intergovernmental Affairs and Vice Chair of the Special Senate Committee on Drug Addiction, Treatment Options, and Application of Section 35. She also served as a member of the Joint Committees on Transportation, Marijuana Policy, Export Development, and Children and Families and Persons with Disabilities. Her work in the House of Representatives was equally impressive. For example, she was appointed Chair of the Joint Committee on Community Development and Small Businesses, something which in my family we talk about a lot, traveling the Commonwealth to listen to and assist communities across the staff. Clearly she was and is a very busy person. Throughout her career, she supported and empowered neighbors and families in Dorchester and other communities in the community's first Suffolk Senate District through leadership that encouraged inclusion, diversity, economic growth, and neighborhood revitalization. She has spearheaded major legislative initiatives, taken the lead on a broad range of critical issues, from promoting community-led economic investments to protecting rights of temporary workers and ensuring every child has access to quality education. When you have the opportunity to interact with her, and I have over this last year, you're immediately struck by her warmth, her humility, her kindness, and something that I admire because it's, for people who know me, she's intense. She cares about what she cares about, and she brings that passion to what she does. And for those young people in the room, bringing passion to what you do, to what you really believe in is a measure of the way you succeed. She is a fighter for the values and the people whom she values. And her long list of legislative accomplishments reflect her fierceness and determination in justly insisting, upon inclusiveness, opportunity, and a better quality of life for everyone. Since we're in this setting, let me note what I have learned about her enthusiastic advocacy for the public university system and for UMass Boston in particular. She's been a strong voice for us at all times, including, and this is important, including offering constructive criticism where she felt that was necessary. One must be willing to be supportive, and in this world we have to be able to listen to other views to be able to set us on the right course. And being a leader and a legislator who understands that it's important to speak your mind, tell truth to the people who sometimes don't want to hear it, is important and necessary. Her advocacy for education in its purest form is best reflected in the fight that she waged to prevent library closings in Boston, an unsung but heroic victory for all who value the infinite riches that lies among the walls of those libraries. And so now, she's taking a brief respite from public life. So I live with a woman, my wife, when she was in public life and out of public life and back in public life, so people go back and forth. And she has this new role, welcome to the private sector, with Suffolk Construction. And they are incredibly fortunate. John Fish is incredibly fortunate to have Linda on his team. She will not need a playbook at all. In fact, at her work in creating housing and job creation opportunities for women and minorities in what is a booming seaport South Boston district, where we should have more opportunity for all, she has written the playbook on that, and she's working in an organization that has those commitments. So she's joined the right place. They're lucky to have her, and she's very fortunate to be working among those folks. So now she's in the private sector, and will take all of that energy, and what will she create? Economic opportunity, access, greater quality of life for all kinds of people, period. So for those reasons and many, many more, we in this area have been fortunate, beyond fortunate, to have Linda representing us in all that we care about. So we at UMass Boston are now proud to honor Linda for all that she's done and all that she will do for the city, for the people of the city of Boston, and for this great university. So I want to thank you. Thank you for all your support for UMass Boston, for joining us this morning and becoming part of this family. Thank you. Come on up.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Great. It is wonderful to be here. I want to thank Chancellor Barry Mills for those beautiful remarks. Thank you so much, Chancellor Mills. Thank you. It is truly an honor to be here this morning on the 31st, right? Community Awards Breakfast. Incredible. 31 years ago, it started. I want to thank the incredible team here at UMass Boston, right here in Dorchester. Vice Chancellor Ed Lambert, thank you. Phil Carver, thank you, and the incredible folks who continue to do the work here every single day. I want to thank the incredible students who are here for your passion and your commitment in picking UMass Boston to do your education. I see Sarah Tariq, who's the vice president of the student body, who was my incredible intern in the state senate. So thank you, Sarah, for your work. And I think you're running for the trustee, so that should be interesting. You know, I just want to say it is an honor to receive this award, but to receive it along with Jane Mooney and the incredible work, Jane, that you have done, you know, supporting our young people, which is so, so important. And to the young people who are here, use your voice, right? Very, very important. And I think the connection with UMass Boston is that you have a voice, and this is how we're going to transform our communities here in our state and in our country. Now, Chancellor Mills, you got me, man. Come on. Jeez, wow. All right. Okay, so I can tell you when I met Chancellor Mills, it was a little dicey, right? And he talked about my intensity. It was a good intensity. But he has done an amazing job leading this campus over the last year and really understanding what we bring in this incredible Boston's only public research university right here on the Dorchester Peninsula. Very, very important. So I thank you for continuing to build from Chancellor Keith Motley and our amazing Robert H. Quinn, you know, for his incredible vision in creating the legislation to put this campus right here in Dorchester. And I thank you, Claudina, for being here. Claudine, thank you. You know, we met each other, Bob and Claudine, at the Charitable Irish Society in 1997, okay? This is before I ran for office, and I was working in the public sector, and you all have been incredible. Thank you for your support. And to the incredible Quinn family, thank you for your commitment to this campus, okay? The Quinn daughters are working, okay? They have not forgotten UMass Boston here in Dorchester, getting emails and texts all the time when I represented this incredible place. I can tell you that the last 22 years in public service, 13 of those years in elected office, has been a blessing. Being a state rep, but then to serve as a senator, representing Dorchester, Mattapan, South Boston, and the incredible community of Hyde Park. You know, we do this work because of our commitment to one another. And I think that's what you hear today, is the commitment that we have in our great city to not just to the Dorchester community, but to all families. And education is critical. And I tell you this, and you know this because we sit right here on this campus this morning. I am first-generation American. My parents came here from Haiti not speaking a lick of English, but they knew that education was it. And so work hard, Linda, do well in school, get your grades. That's what we grew up hearing. And so I did do well. And I went on to college at BC, and I went on, but I connected and stayed connected about giving back and being responsible for other people, because I saw that in my household, right? My parents bought a 2-family house in Upham's Corner. They still live in that house now. So I'm the sandwich generation. I want to thank my husband, Bill Forry, who's here, and our incredible 4 children. You know, I couldn't do this work if it wasn't for him and his incredible support. But I say this because my parents are 80 and they're getting a little older, and my dad has Alzheimer's. But I stand here, and I stood here in working in public service. Why? Because I saw what my parents did, how they opened up their homes to other families, Haitian families who did not have relatives in Boston, and they let them stay with us for free. They could have used the money because they had a lot of children, but they let them stay for free so they could get assimilated into this new culture we call America. So that's the concept, right? That's what we need to get back to, is how do we learn to communicate through music and song or just through words? Having a conversation, recognizing that we may not look the same, we may not have been raised the same, but we are the same because our experiences makes us connected. And so that is so critical as we continue to do this work. I want to thank my father-in-law, Ed Forry, who's here, who was the first Robert H. Quinn awardee in 1987. Thank you, Dad. Thank you for being here. Della, thank you for being here. My incredible cousin, Carolyn, Luke, who's here, who's representing her family. Go, Carolyn. Okay. I say that because, when I ran for office my first year, 13 years ago, Carolyn was in the streets with me 7 hours a day knocking on doors with her brother. It was quite amazing. In the snow, you always need someone by your side doing that, so she was there. And so thank you. I want to thank my incredible team at the State House, right? So even though I'm gone, the 1st Suffolk District office is open, okay? So if you have problems, please call. But Kitcha, Nazir Allen is here. Thank you, Kitcha. And Patrick O'Brien is here. Thank you, Patrick. But I want to thank my incredible district, the people of the 1st Suffolk, who continues. I see Mattapan in the house. Come on. Ms. Kincaid and the crew. See Dorchester and Southie and Hyde Park. But it has been an amazing, amazing ride. And I say this because when I came into public service, that's what it was. It was service. How do we stand up and be the voice for those who may not have a voice at that time? How do we represent and speak up when we need resources coming into our communities? Or giving access and opportunities when we see all these incredible constructions and jobs happening around our state? How can we make sure that small businesses that are owned by people of color, by women and veterans, that they're also participating? And so I've been able to do that work with incredible partners in government. I know Councilor Frank Baker was here earlier this morning. So it has been a blessing. And even though I'm no longer in elected office, know that the work continues, because I've been able to go and work for Suffolk now. And I gotta tell you, John Fish, a person, a visionary who believes in giving back, who believes the core of our company is passion, integrity, hard work, professionalism, and caring. Caring for the communities that you are in, but caring and recognizing that we have to be there for other people. And so I see some members of the Suffolk team that's here. Corey Allen, thank you for being here this morning. We continue to do the work. I see the UMass Building Authority, Maggie's here, we continue to work with each other as we're building on this incredible campus. And so even though I'm not elected, I am not far, because we are located in Roxbury, right? And John could have left several years ago, but he stayed. They've been there for 30 years, and I'm so happy that we stayed. Because now my work as Vice President of Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Relations is to make sure that when we talk about diversity and inclusion, not just us at Suffolk, but us, all of us in it together, that it goes deeper than what it means. It's about access, as Chancellor Mills mentioned. It's about access and opportunity and making sure that folks are able to get the economic impact that is happening around our state and right here in Boston. So I look forward to doing this work. But I have to tell you that it has been, a little rough, right? So when I left, people were like, God, Linda, what happened? Is everything okay? What's going on? And I say to folks that it was time, right? Every once in a while, when it's your time. And so to our young people, I say, stay in there, continue singing, but do well in school, right? And it may get tough in a semester, just plug through it. And ask for assistance from your teachers and your professors and say, listen, I had a problem I didn't understand. Very, very important. Because I know you will be the next elected or the next owner, the CEO of a business, right? Because we need folks in every aspect, not just in the public sector, but in the private sector too. And so I am just grateful this morning because I see so many friends who have impacted my life throughout my career in the public sector. But more importantly, I have to say, and I want to recognize one person who has been a great friend of mine and a mentor. And when I was running, I went to see him. He served in the Second World War and fought in the Pacific Theater, and I went to see him for advice. And that's Mr. Lou Pasquale. Thank you so much. Woo! We love you, Lou. Well deserved. and Mr. Pasquale, Lou, gave me a lot of advice, I'm telling you. And he said, Linda, remember Lou? You're a nice person. Do you really want to run for office? What are you doing? Why are you running? And I'm like, no, we can make a difference. We can do it. And so I'm forever grateful. And so I just say to you all, this is really an honor. Again, to be recognized here today. Thank you, Chancellor Mills and the incredible team that although I do not represent this area, know that UMass Boston, Boston's only public research university, will always be on my mind. As we continue to do the work, working with the UMass Building Authority, Maggie and the team, continuing to do the work through our trades partner diversity, where we're working with businesses, that are owned by people of color and women and veterans, but more importantly, where we're working with our unions to bring the diversity of people into the workforce, women and people of color, very, very important as we continue to do the work on our campuses. So this is once again an honor to be here and to be honored with all, with Jane and so many others. But I just thank you all and know that I am here. I have not gone that far, guys, not far at all. And everyone pretty much has my number, so feel free to call. But know that it's true. But everyone's writing for sponsorship. But John gets it, right? He's an incredible person who really supports sponsors and stuff. But I just want to thank you all again, because to leave this work as an elected official and to go into a private business that understands the connection with communities and making sure that people have access and making sure that people can provide for themselves and their families is critical. And in the end, we have to treat people the way we want to be treated, and we have to speak to people the way we want to be spoken to, and we will make a world of difference. Thank you all, and God bless.
Well, I want to thank you all for being here today, and I really want to, once again, thank our community, because today is a day for us to come together, and it's very exciting. You're important to us. We remain committed to you. I want to thank the Quinn family for being here. Tradition, connections are important. They're really important to maintain over the years, to ground institutions in what they are about. And so I want to thank the Quinn family for being here. And to our honorees, we stand in your reflected glory. It's great for us to honor you, but it's even more terrific for us to be associated with you and all that you do. So thank you all for being here. Look forward to seeing you on campus again soon. And thank you again. Have fun. Have a great day. Bye-bye.